Chapter 25. I woke up the next morning panicked because I dreamed of being alone and boatless in a huge lake. I bolted up, straining against the BiPAP, and felt Mom's arm on me. Hi, you okay? My heart raced, but I nodded. Mom said, Caitlin's on the phone for you. I pointed at my BiPAP. She helped me get it off and hooked me up to Philip, and then finally I took myself from Mom and said, Hey, Caitlin. Just calling to check in, she said. See how you're doing. Yeah, thanks, I said. I'm doing okay. You've just had the worst luck, darling. It's inconsolable. I guess, I said. I didn't think much about my luck anymore one way or the other. Honestly, I didn't really want to talk with Caitlin about anything, but she kept dragging the conversation along. So what was it like? She asked. Having your boyfriend die? It sucks. No, she said. Being in love. Oh, I said. Oh, it was nice to spend time with someone so interesting. We were very different, and we disagreed about a lot of things. But he was always so interesting, you know? Alas, I do not. The boys I'm acquainted with are vastly uninteresting. He wasn't perfect or anything. He wasn't your fairy tale prince charming or whatever. He tried to be like that sometimes, but I liked him best when that stuff fell away. Do you have like a scrapbook of pictures and letters he wrote? I have some pictures, but he never really wrote me letters, except, well, there are some missing pages from his notebook that might have been something for me, but I guess he threw them away or they got lost or something. Maybe he mailed them to you, she said. Nah, they'd gotten here. Then maybe they weren't written for you, she said. Maybe, I mean, not to depress you or anything, but maybe he wrote them for someone else and mailed them. Van Houten! I shouted. Are you okay? Was that a cough? Caitlin, I love you. You are a genius. I have to go. I hung up, rolled over, reached for my laptop, turned it on, and emailed Ludovic Blazenhart. Ludovic, I believe Augustus Waters sent a few pages from a notebook to Peter Van Houten shortly before Augustus died. It is very important to me that someone reads these pages. I want to read them, of course, but maybe they weren't written for me. Regardless, they must be read. They must be. Can you help? Your friend, Hazel Grace Lancaster. She responded late that afternoon. Dear Hazel, I did not know that Augustus had died. I am very sad to hear this news. He was such a very charismatic young man. I am so sorry and so sad. I have not spoken to Peter since I resigned that day we met. It is very late at night here, but I am going over to his house first thing in the morning to find this letter and force him to read it. Mornings were his pastime usually. Your friend Ludovic Blazenhart. P.S. I am bringing my boyfriend in case we have to physically restrain Peter. I wondered why he'd written Van Houten in those last days instead of me, telling Van Houten that he'd be redeemed if only he gave me my sequel. Maybe the notebook pages had just repeated his request to Van Houten. It made sense. Gus leveraging his terminology to make my dream come true. The sequel was a tiny thing to die for, but it was the biggest thing left at his disposal. I refreshed my email continually that night, slept for a few hours, and then commenced refreshing around 5 in the morning, but nothing arrived. I tried to watch TV to distract myself, but my thoughts kept drifting back to Amsterdam, imagining Ludovic Blazenhart and her boyfriend bicycling around town on this crazy mission to find the dead kid's last correspondence. How fun it would be to bounce on the back of Ludovic Blazenhart's bike down the brick street, her curly red hair blowing into my face, the smell of the candles and cigarette smoke. All the people sitting outside the cafes drinking beer, saying their R's and G's in a way I'd never learn. I missed the future. Obviously, I knew even before his recurrence that I'd never grow old, with Augustus Waters, but thinking about Little and her boyfriend, I felt robbed. I would probably never again see the ocean from 30,000 feet above, so far up that you can't make out the waves or any boat, so that the ocean is a great and endless monolith. I could imagine it, I could remember it, but I couldn't see it again, and it occurred to me that the voracious ambition of humans is never sated by dreams coming true, because there is always the thought that everything might be done better and again. That is probably true even if you live to be 90. Although I'm jealous of the people who get to find out for sure. Get to find out for sure. Then again, I already lived twice as long as Van Houten's daughter. What it wouldn't have given to have a kid die at 16. Suddenly, Mom was standing between the TV and me, her hands folded behind her back. Hazel, she said. Her voice was so serious I thought something might be wrong. Yes? Do you know what today is? It's not my birthday, is it? She laughed. Not just yet. It's July 14th, Hazel. Is it your birthday? No. Is it Harry Houtenay's birthday? No. I am really tired of guessing. It is Bastille Day. She pulled her arms from behind her back, producing two small plastic French flags and waving them enthusiastically. That sounds like a fake thing, like Cholera Awareness Day. I assure you, Hazel, that there is nothing fake about Bastille Day. Did you know that 223 years ago today, the people of France stormed the Bastille prison to arm themselves to fight for their freedom? Wow, I said, we should celebrate this momentous anniversary. It so happens that I have just now scheduled a picnic with your father in Holiday Park. She never stopped trying. My mom, I pushed against the couch and stood up. Together, we cobbled together some sandwich makings and found a dusty picnic basket in the hallway utility closet. It was kind of a beautiful day. Finally, real summer in Indianapolis. Warm and humid. The kind of weather that reminds you after a long winter that while the world wasn't built for humans, we were built for the world. Dad was waiting for us, wearing a tan suit, standing in the handicapped parking spot typing away on his handheld. He waved as we parked and then hugged me. What a day, he said. If we lived in California, they'd all be like this. Yeah, but then you wouldn't enjoy them. My mom said she was wrong, but I didn't correct her. We ended up putting our blanket down by the ruins. These weird rectangular Roman ruins plopped down in the middle of a field in Indianapolis. But they aren't real ruins. They are like a sculptural recreation of ruins built 80 years ago. But the fake ruins have been neglected pretty badly, so they have kind of become actual ruins by accident. Van Houten would like the ruins, Gus too. So we sat in the shadow of the ruins and ate a little lunch. Do you need sunscreen? Mom asked. I'm okay, I said. You could hear the wind in the leaves, and on that wind traveled the screams of the kids on the playground in the distance. The little kids figuring out how to be alive, how to navigate a world that was not built for them by navigating a playground that was. Dad saw me watching the kids and said, You miss running around like that? Sometimes, I guess. But that wasn't what I was thinking. I was just trying to notice everything. The light on the ruined ruins. This little kid who could barely walk discovering a stick at the corner of the playground. My indefatigable mother zigzagging mustard across her turkey sandwich. My dad patting his handheld on his pocket and resisting the urge to check it. A guy throwing a frisbee that his dog kept running under and catching and returning to him. Who am I to say that these things might not be forever? Who is Peter Van Houten to assert as fact the conjecture that our labor is temporary? All I know of heaven and all I know of death is in this part, an elegant universe in ceaseless motion, teeming with ruined ruins and screaming children. My dad was waving his hand in front of my face. Tune in, Hazel. Are you there? Sorry, yeah, what? Mom suggested we go see Gus. Oh, yeah, I said.